Testing, testing, testing. Let's see. Okay, 7 is 12. Okay. All right. Shalom, Israel. Shalom Yahweh Hashem Shabbarakatham to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shema Allah Hashem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. We are the ISUPK Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we teach that all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are God's chosen people according to the Bible. Now, today, let's see, it's February 14th. So in America, what was yesterday? Oh, yeah, you want to take your, Salakia. That's my fault. Oh, what you got?
Valentine's Day.
There you go. So yesterday was what, a pagan holiday, Valentine's Day, right? So do a little quick recap, right? Can anybody tell me a little bit about Valentine's Day? Like the history behind Valentine's Day? Nobody? Okay, so I'll give y'all a quick little rundown. So Valentine's Day, do you know that it's actually about homosexuality? And that throws off some people, right? So just give a little bit of brief history of Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, y'all know like ancient Rome, Greece, like the Spartans. So, white people, right? They believed that if you loved, like, I just want to set the record straight real quick. You got brotherly love, and then you got the love, of course, that you would have, like, for your wife, right? Now, these men at the time, right, they believed that if you were to have sexual intercourse with the man that you are going to war with, you would grow to love them. You get my point? Like, actually love them, like how you would love your wife. The reason behind it, their reason anyway, was because they thought, okay, if I actually quote unquote love this man, I'm gonna fight harder for him. So the whole point of it was homosexuality. To get a little deeper into it, I forgot his name. If anybody wants to look it up, the man's name, Slag. I can't remember the name of him right now, but what he did was Slag, sir.
The two soldiers.
So the two soldiers.
It's Paulo Varicious.
Paulo Varicious. Yeah. Okay, the water, sir. So just one more.
Pollo Varicious.
Okay, sir, the water. So to break it all down for you, these men, right, loved each other. Like homosexuality loved each other. So what they did was when he killed his enemy, he cut out his heart and gave it to his lover. Hence you see the symbol, the heart for Valentine's Day, right? Also, that heart, like we all seen a human heart, right? That heart doesn't look like an actual heart. Do you want to know what it actually looks like? What you got, brother?
It's supposed to be like a woman bent over.
Give that brother a hand. So, and I know you had your hand raised. You had a question, brother?
Oh yeah, when it comes to, I read something today. When it come to the homosexuality part,
mm-hmm.
I heard that before 1974, that used to be looked at as mental illness.
That is a mental illness. So I got you. That's a good comment to make. So I forgot the book, but they actually made it to where homosexuality is no longer a mental illness. But let's just break down homosexuality real quick, right? Okay, it takes a man and a woman to create a child, right? I mean, we've all been through sex education, whatever. And I mean, come on now. A man and a man can't have sex with one another and create a child. A woman and a woman cannot have sex with each other and create a child. It's impossible. But let's get down to the mental illness. Think about this. Have you ever heard the term, it could be let's use a brother, right? Let's say it's a man and he makes a comment saying that he thinks that he is a woman in a man's body. Have you ever heard that before? Okay, and vice versa. A woman thinking that, she's a man in a woman, a man in a woman's body. That is a mental illness. Okay, a lot of that comes from child molestation. Kids today, not even today, Salakia, for a very long time, sex is constantly pushed on our kids, right? And it was like the subliminals. I mean, you could think of some of the things that you might have seen as a child, right? You could look at today and it just gets worse and worse and worse. You got to be careful what you put on Netflix nowadays. You got to have the little child lock app. What you got, brother?
Yeah, look, the homosexuality part, science look at it as a mental illness or a behavioral disorder, but I feel like a spiritual advisor, they pinpoint it as demon.
So that mental illness is a demon. It's all comes together. That is a demon. That demon gets put on them at a very young age, usually, right? Because it's a kid. Kids are very impressionable. You could teach them anything and they're gonna follow it. If a child, and this happens a lot, sadly, within our communities, is sexually assaulted at a very young age, let's say it's a boy, and his uncle touches him when he's a young boy, he cannot cognitively think that is wrong. He doesn't understand what's going on. So as he gets older, he's going to think that, oh, well, such and such, touch me, men like me. So I guess that's what I'm for. I guess I like men. And then what a lot of people don't like to admit, right? Matter of fact, I got you, the LGBTQ community, right? Did you know that over 48% of women that identify as bisexual or lesbian have been sexually assaulted between the ages of 11 and I believe it's 18? That's a fact, by the way, too. That comes from their community. They admitted that. You understand? So you got to look at the spirit behind Valentine's Day. And what the brother brought up earlier, yes, that heart, like I said, it's not an actual heart. That heart is, I'm not going to get too vulgar because, we do have a young lady here, but it's a woman bent over, that shape. You understand? Actually, Salakia, if anybody wants to look up, I got you, sir. Karamashak, do you mind looking up Eros? It's EROS in Google. And Salakia, sir, you had your hand up?
Kind of just to touch on what you're bringing out, I have an article here that touches on that too, about the heart being the back of a woman.
Oh, sir, go ahead.
It's okay, so this is from Live Journal, and it says Galdino Panzarone, Rono College. He believes one rather obvious bit of evidence is that the heart symbol does not directly duplicate the heart human organ.
Right.
The twin lobes of the stylized version correspond roughly to the pair of auricles and ventricles chambers of the anatomical heart. Panzarone said, but added that the organ is never bright red in color, and its shape does not have the invagination at the top nor
an arrow. Okay, so what symbol? Okay, Valentine's Day. Who has a bow and arrow? Go ahead. Cupid, right? So to break it all down, right? I'm not gonna spend too much time on Valentine's Day. The whole spirit behind Valentine's Day is actually based off of homosexuality and lust. To break it down even further, a lot of our people, right? First of all, we're not supposed to be celebrating pagan holidays as it is. So Valentine's Day, it seems harmless, right? You buy some chocolates, some candy for your woman, take her out on a date, etc., etc. It's supposed to be a nice evening with your lady. At least that's what Esau tries to paint it as, when actually the spirit behind it is lust. Because you got to also think there's a lot of sisters who might not have a man, right? But then Valentine, also a lot of predators out there take advantage of this. Men in the world take advantage of this. Some of these sisters are so desperate to have a man on Valentine's Day just for one night, right? In the Bible, sex is marriage. For one night, they need a man. So a lot of brothers in the world, or just men in general, they was like, okay, well, this is my opportunity. I'm going to get me a woman tonight. I'll buy her some chocolates, whatever. Okay, you buy her out. You prostitute her. You have sex with her, and then you go on about your business. Valentine's Day is over, and now that sister goes back to not having a man in her life. That's Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate Valentine's Day, okay? So that's enough on that, but I'll give you a brief rundown about Esther and what the Feast of Purim is actually about. So let's see. If I could. Go ahead, sir.
If I could just bring out, I have a little thing here on my phone, right?
Mhm.
It says total expected Valentine's Day spendings in the United States from 2009 to 2022.
Mhm.
So in 2022, it's 23.9 billion.
Wow.
So they're making money off of us celebrating this pagan holiday.
If y'all didn't hear Priest and Officer Ashkur, you can say that one more time, sir.
So this is statistic, right?
Mhm.
Statista. U.S. Valentine's Day sales 2009 through 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Planned Valentine's Day spending in the United States was expected to reach approximately 24 billion US dollars in 2022. This is an increase of about $2 billion from 2021. And Valentine's Day is celebrated
That's
every
crazy.
year on February 14 and is commonly considered the most romantic holiday of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2022, they're expected to have sales up to 23.9 billion US dollars.
$23.9 billion for Valentine's Day?
Valentine's.
Wow. So $23.9 billion of our money towards Valentine's Day. Imagine what that money could actually do for our communities. But we spending that on, chocolates and flowers and, all that garbage. But Slakia, the water for that, sir. So if I could, okay, can anybody give me a quick recap about the book of Esther from yesterday, right? Everything that we went over, just so of what you know. Karam Shop.
Basically, the book of Esther, she was a Israelite sister Judah,
Mm-hmm.
and she was chosen to be the wife of the
You got
I
it.
forgot his name, Slagi, but
You swap.
king of Persia at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Mordecai. That was Esther's. I believe he took her on as a daughter, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Mordecai, he went ahead and I guess it was between Haman, Mordecai, and Esther,
Mm-hmm.
And Haman, he didn't like Mordecai, and he wanted to put slaughter to him. Then Esther went ahead and spoke up, had the courage to speak up to her husband, even in fear of her life. And he basically got hung on his own gallows that he built. Basically.
Nah, Most High in Christ. Get that brother a hand. So just to give you a quick rundown, brother. So just to go a little bit more into detail. So at this time, right? At this time, we were under, at the time it was the Persians and the Medes. Today, you would know them as the Iranians. So we were living in a different nation, kind of like today, America, right? Esau, who's a so-called white man today, he runs America right now. So we were living in a different nation at the time. So at this time, there was a king by the name of King Ahasuerus. You could also know him as King Artaxerxes. You can read that in the Apocrypha. So at this time, right, there was a certain woman whose name was Esther. She was a Benjamite woman. Benjamites are the so-called West Indians today. So Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, the islands, right? So at this time, the brother, what he was bringing out was it was Mordecai. Mordecai was her family. He took her as a daughter at the time because, sadly, her parents passed away. So at this time, King Ahasuerus had a queen. Her name was Vashti. Vashti disobeyed and embarrassed King Ahasuerus. If anybody wants to say what she did, what you got, brother?
He was trying to show her off to like all the other people in the kingdom, and she said no. And she even told her to come out and show herself to everybody. Not everybody, like a certain man, a certain group of men.
Now, why was that? Why did that embarrass him? Go ahead.
Because, like you guys said yesterday, the queen could tell the king.
So we were living in captivity under a heathen king, right? Kind of like today, your presidents, same difference. So he tried to show off his woman, Vashti, who was the queen at the time. She disobeyed him and embarrassed him in front of everybody. And the reason why this caused such an uproar was because, like the brother said, if the queen can tell the king no, Well, all the other women in the nation, they're going to see that and be like, oh, well, the queen ain't listening to the king, so why should I listen to my husband? So they had to cut all that out. So what did King Ahasuerus do? He got rid of Vashti, and he wanted a new queen to take her place. So he sent all his men out to find the most beautiful women in the nation, in a sense, virgins. Now, before I continue, I ask you, what's your name again, brother? Is it what is it? Edward. Okay, I'll ask you a question. What do you think virgin means?
Virgin means to me someone without sexual income.
Okay, so we'll read. See, anybody got their Zondervans with them? You got your Zondervans? Okay, if you could, Karab Mashak, can you look up the definition of virgin in the Zondervans? You got your Zondervans? Okay, if you could, Karab Mashak, can you look up the definition of virgin in the Zondervans Bible Dictionary? So there's a reason why I asked you that question.
Where can I get myself a Bible dictionary
A Zondervan, you can order it on. Matter of fact, you can order it on Amazon. They're not that expensive. But it's good to get one because there's a lot of
from? I
words.
didn't have one.
No, they got them. Yeah, you can order them on Amazon. But yeah, it's very good to have one because there's a lot of words that got misconstrued over time. So you got to look at the actual biblical definition of it. You got virgin for me?
Come on.
Okay, can you read the definition of virgin in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, Baba Kasha?
Come. The definition of virgin in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
A young woman of marriageable age,
Mm-hmm.
whether married or not.
That's it on that?
Come.
Woman of marriage, whether she was married or not. So in this context, pretty much they're just looking for fair young women. That's all. Whether if they, it's like you said, whether if they were married or not. Okay. So he's just looking for fair young women. That's all. So he's looking for beautiful women throughout the land to take the place of Vashti, his queen. So of these women, they found Esther. Now, Esther was a Benjamite, so-called West Indian today. She was an Israelite, right? Now, here's the thing. The Jews, who are us, right? They were living in the land at the time. However, she did not reveal that she was a Hebrew. So before I continue with that, if I could real quick, could I get, let's see, what is it? Could I get First Kings chapter 17, verse 42? And then I'm going to read, let me see. If somebody else can get 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 4, Baba Kasha.
Like you said, for the first one.
1 Kings chapter 17, verse 42. I believe it's that one. And the second one is 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 4. Let me just double check. But just let me know when you got it.
So you said 17, so like which verse?
42.
42.
Go ahead, read it.
So like it's no 42.
So it's not that one.
Nah, I don't believe so.
Try set Salaki. Let me see. If it's not that one.
That was for First King, right?
Try 2 Kings. 2 Kings 17 and 42. Pretty much the reason why I want to go over this is that the Lord does not care about what your complexion is. The Lord cares about what your lineage is. So as in like today's society, okay, I'll talk about black people, for example. Black people are called what? African Americans, right? Are black people African? No, we're not African. According to the Bible, Africans come from who?
Him.
You said who? No, what'd you say?
I want to say him, Shem or something.
No, what was the first one you said?
Him?
Give that brother a hand. Yes, it's Ham. Yes. So Africans are the Hamites in the Bible, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, matter of fact, where my Zondervan's at? Lock here. 'Cause I
Got
want
one on the table. Like, yeah, we pull some up in there.
let me see. I put him to the side. Slovakia.
They're down there. Look.
Yeah, Slovakia. Let me grab that real quick. Let me show you something. Zondervan's. Yeah. This is no, not this one. You got it, Rama shot?
Salagi is it's only it only goes for 41.
41. What? Okay, Slovakia. Don't worry about it then. But I'll show you something real quick. We're gonna look up Ham in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. Let's see. Ham. Slovakia. This is not mine. Okay, here we go. Slovakia. Okay, so this is Ham according to the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. The youngest son of Noah. We were actually enslaved by Africans. So let's just clear that all up right now, right? So-called Black Hispanics and Native Indians are God's chosen people according to the Bible. And we came from Shem. So you actually right on the second part too. We came from the lineage of Shem, not Ham, but Salakia. But going back to Esther, right? The reason why I wanted to go over that is because Esther, right, she did not reveal that she was a Hebrew at first, meaning that there were other people that lived at that time. Just like today, you got other nations of people that look similar to us, right? You see Africans like at least from a difference. Salakia. I don't want to say up close because Africans look crazy. But Africans from far away, it's kind of hard. Who are they? You know, are they black or, you know, you got some people out there who might look Mexican, but they're not actually Mexican or vice versa. You understand? So she was able to hide that she was a Hebrew at the time. Later on, she does end up becoming the wife of Ahasuerus, right? However, there was a man that worked under Ahasuerus. If anybody remembers his name, Priest Noster Ashkawar. Oh, Slagia. Go ahead, Problem Shop.
I was going to add, that brother has a terrible name. That's an ugly name. Sounds like a disease.
He was a heathen. It was a Persian. So, but go ahead, Problem Shop. What you got? Haman. Okay, so Haman. So Haman was an Agagite, and I believe that's still Esau. But the whole point was worked under Ahasuerus. Haman had a very big issue with Mordecai. If anybody knows why do you have an issue with Mordecai? What you got, brother?
Mordecai didn't bow to Haman when he entered the room, so he didn't give him reference.
Exactly. So he did not bow to Haman at that time. Now, here's the cold part about Mordecai, right? Mordecai knew that he was a Hebrew Israelite. Now, even though he lived with other nations, right? And just so I could paint a picture for you, right? When you read Esther, in Esther, this is the king we're talking about, like Persian kings. Like, don't look at like these old movies and think like they were just walking around looking like Tarzan with loincloths and stuff. No, they had gold and all these rubies. Like, they were living very lavishly. This was the king's palace. You understand? Now, Mordecai was around the palace. Now, even though he was around the palace and Haman was the man that was directly under the king, all the other men bowed to him, right? He had a real big ego. Mordecai didn't care. To him, he was just some heathen, right? Okay, yeah, we work together. Yeah, you might be my boss, whatever, but I'm not going to bow to you. He wasn't a kiss ass. You understand, right? So the cool part about that is, in today's age, we have a lot of brothers and sisters that are in office, that are very high up, music industry, celebrities, right? They have a lot of money, and they're sellouts.
That's right.
They're sellouts. A lot of people look up to people like, I'll talk about it real quick. Kanye West. Y'all see what's going on with that brother, right?
Yes, sir.
Kanye West, look, first of all, we all know that Kim Kardashian was a whore to begin with anyway, but he took so much pride in it, right? That was his wife, had kids with her. Well, okay, well, she's sleeping with somebody else now. So now, hold on, now we just passed Valentine's.